A rookie sensation is injecting new life into a league desperate for a breakthrough, while a veteran star, already navigating a return clouded by international intrigue, finds herself at the center of yet another storm. And then, a single explosive moment on the court, a moment many believe crossed an undeniable line. What truly unfolded in that heated exchange, and could the intense fallout reshape far more than just one player's career, or even the league itself?
Indiana Fever and Atlanta Dream played. Indiana Fever is where Caitlin Clark plays. Atlanta Dream is where Brittney Griner plays. Now you tell me what it looks like Brittney Griner is saying here.
Or the ticky-tack fouls that we were talking about earlier today.
For a little bit of context, this was in the fourth quarter after Brittney Griner fouled out against Caitlin Clark, and Indiana Fever would go on to win by 5. Now I'm going to tell you what I think she said. Let's play it back. Looks to me like she is saying trash and then calling Caitlin Clark a bleep white girl. Just a reminder, this is who Joe Biden traded for the Russian merchant of death. So many WNBA players hate Caitlin Clark so much when she is the best thing that could have happened to the league. And she's not the best thing that happened to the league because she's white.
The air in the arena was already thick with the usual competitive tension, a backdrop for what would become a much larger drama. The Indiana Fever, powered by the whirlwind popularity of Caitlin Clark, faced off against the Phoenix Mercury, featuring the formidable Brittney Griner, setting the stage for heightened emotions.
If you want to get people never to watch the WNBA, this is an amazing way to do it. If the league is going to be rooted in this sort of nastiness with regard to its only real star, good luck to them. Well, folks, the left has a real problem in the United States. They've spent the last several decades talking about how racism is an endemic problem in American life. And there's a problem with that problem, which is there's not enough racism.
It was late in the game when Griner fouled out. As she headed off the court, cameras, ever present in this new era of WNBA visibility, captured her directing pointed words towards Clark. It wasn't the foul itself that would cause the immediate and widespread uproar.
Brittney Griner was caught on tape during a game with the Indiana Fever, dropping racial slurs against Caitlin Clark. I mean, pretty obviously doing so.
Fouls that we were talking about earlier today.
And it doesn't take a lot of genius to lip read Brittney Griner, whose voice, by the way, is about as low as mine is, calling her trash and an effing white girl. Now, of course, if Caitlin Clark had ever suggested the same in reverse, using black as opposed to white in that sentence, that'd be the end of her WNBA career. But Brittney Griner is going strong. It's totally fine.
Instead, it was the venom millions believe they witnessed in that brief, unguarded moment. Viral clips began to spread with astonishing speed across every social media platform imaginable, igniting a firestorm of debate and condemnation.
Seeing the 3 games, what else happened to everybody else?
I mean, I know there's always consequences to actions. You know, what I did, I already know that I was going to get, you know, some time for that. And, you know, I respect, you know, I got 3 games. Okay. Not disputing that at all. Do I think that it shouldn't have been 3 across the board? Boom, everybody involved in it, 3-3-3. I think that would have been honestly fair. I would have been happy today with that. Not happy today, and it's not because of my suspension. I take ownership.
Amateur and so-called expert lip readers went into overdrive, and a shocking consensus quickly formed. Griner had allegedly spat out the deeply offensive phrase, "trash effing white girl." The raw, seemingly unfiltered nature of the captured moment, and the alleged words themselves, sent a wave of disbelief through the sports world and far beyond.
Brittney Griner is playing a game, and this is what Brittney Griner calls. I was not going to comment on any of this stuff until this took place. Watch what she says. The entire internet has reacted to this. Here's Brittney Griner. They're playing against the Indiana Fever, and look what she's saying. Go ahead, Rob.
Or the ticky-tack fouls that we were talking about earlier today.
Well, that pretty much sounds like trash effing white girl.
Yeah.
I mean, let's just be honest.
So the whole market reacts to this with Brittney Griner, right? And then the other quote, Rob, then I'm going to wrap this up, and then I'm going to go to Adam. Put the quote of Brittney Griner, what she said about the NBA. This is so funny how all this stuff works out, right? She says, this is from Brittney. Every time we play her, there's this commotion, like this loud rumbling from the stands. Turns out it's people, thousands of them, just sitting there, watching on purpose. It's very disruptive. It's called the freaking game that they pay you money to play. Don't play the game.
The digital jury convened almost instantly. Social media platforms erupted, transforming into a global echo chamber where the incident was dissected, debated, and often harshly judged from every conceivable angle. The clip replayed endlessly in slow motion.
By Autumn Johnson.
BG, right now you have 10 points, 5 rebounds. We see the Atlanta Dream as being very... Right now she's talking to the refs about holding. We're going to send it back to you guys.
Very important questions.
While official channels remained conspicuously silent in the immediate aftermath, no public comment from Griner, an understandable quiet from Clark, and a noticeable pause from the WNBA. This very silence only poured fuel on the speculative fire, making the absence of information a story in itself. This wasn't just about a few angrily spoken words exchanged in the heat of competition. It was profoundly magnified by the identities of those involved, the charged nature of the alleged words, and the heavy shadows of recent history that loomed large over one of the participants. Caitlin Clark is not just a rookie, she's a phenomenon. Her arrival in the WNBA has been nothing short of a revolution, bringing with her unprecedented viewership numbers, sold-out arenas, and a tidal wave of new fans eager to see her play. She is, by all accounts, the new face of the league, shouldering the immense hopes and expectations for its next era of growth and popularity. Her every move is watched, her every game a major event. On the other side stood Brittney Griner, an established, dominant force in women's basketball, but one whose recent past was anything but straightforward, casting a long shadow over her public persona. Her return to American soil after a lengthy and highly publicized detention in Russia was already a complex chapter in her public life, watched closely by millions. This return was secured through a controversial prisoner swap for the notorious arms dealer Victor Bout, a figure infamously dubbed the Merchant of Death, which placed her under an even more intense and unforgiving public microscope. This stark contrast, the rookie darling whose star was ascending versus the embattled veteran with a complicated and polarizing recent history, created a compelling, if deeply uncomfortable, storyline that the alleged on-court incident threw into painfully sharp relief. With such high stakes, such polarizing figures, and such inflammatory accusations now public, all eyes inevitably turned towards the WNBA, the institution tasked with navigating this treacherous and rapidly escalating storm of controversy. The pressure on the league office became immense, almost overnight. Fans, commentators, and even casual observers began to demand clarity, accountability, and decisive action, feeling the league's integrity was on the line. Many pointed to the WNBA's own No Space for Hate campaign, questioning how these alleged remarks could go unaddressed without fundamentally undermining the league's stated principles of inclusion and respect. This incident didn't occur in a vacuum. It landed amidst ongoing scrutiny regarding the consistency of player discipline, especially concerning what many perceived as a pattern of aggressive, sometimes uncalled fouls against Clark throughout her debut season. The WNBA found itself on a precarious tightrope, facing an unenviable balancing act. It had to weigh support for its players against the clear imperative to uphold its core values, all while managing a critical public relations crisis involving its biggest new draw and one of its most globally recognized, if controversial, veterans. The longer the league remained publicly indecisive or appeared silent, the louder the speculation grew about what exactly was, or perhaps more tellingly, wasn't, happening behind the closed doors of its headquarters. In the vacuum left by official word, the what-if scenarios proliferated wildly. Online forums and sports talk shows buzzed with intense speculation about potential fines, unannounced suspensions, or even mandatory sensitivity training for Griner, demands largely driven by public outrage. Beyond any official league sanctions, the potential for significant reputational damage was enormous. Questions swirled about the impact on Griner's existing endorsements and future marketability, an image already navigating the complexities of her return from Russia. Furthermore, the ingratitude narrative, which had simmered among some critics ever since her release from Russian detention, was dramatically amplified by these alleged comments. Her words on the court were interpreted by these critics as further stark proof of a perceived lack of appreciation for the extensive national efforts made to secure her freedom. Some observers started to believe that the true consequences in situations like these aren't always delivered through official league statements or press releases, but by a different, more relentless, and often unseen force of public opinion. Indeed, the court of public opinion often delivers its verdict long before official bodies conclude their processes. A significant and vocal segment of online discourse quickly framed the entire situation as karma for Brittney Griner, linking it to past actions or her perceived attitude. Thus, an alleged verbal flashpoint on a basketball court rapidly spiraled into a maelstrom of controversy, starkly highlighting player tensions and severely testing stated league principles. This incident also painfully underscored the immense pressures accompanying the WNBA's current, exhilarating phase of growth and increased visibility. And while official pronouncements from the league may have been measured, perhaps delayed, or handled internally, the court of public opinion delivered its judgment with characteristic speed and ferocity, ensuring the reverberations are far from over.